Next, we'll learn how to calculate total surface area of the particles. Okay. Suppose you have a group of particles. Okay. There are a lot of particles. Uniform particles. Okay. Uniform particles means all are having same diameter. Okay. Same density. Okay. And let's say you have the total mass of the sample is m. Okay, this is the total mass of the all the particles. Okay, since the diameter of each particle is same, then it means the volume of each particle is same. Okay, so how to calculate the total surface area? So let's calculate the total surface area. So first thing first, so I can calculate total surface area. Let's say I don't know how many number of particles are here, right? So let's say there are n number of particles here. Okay, and if I know the surface area of each particle, then I can easily calculate the total surface area, right? So only question is how to find the surface area of this single particle, right? And how to calculate the total number of particles in terms of rho p, dp, and vp, right? That is the question. So let's sorry. So how can I calculate total number of particles? Okay. So you can total number of particles can be found out by, let's say I have a total volume, let's say V total, and what is the volume of single particle. So if you know the total volume and divide it by the volume of the single particle, then you can calculate dn, the total number of particles. So what is the total volume of the sample? So since density is same for all the particles, because it is a uniform mixture, and the total mass of the sample is given as m, right? So if you divide total mass by the density of the particles, then you will get the total volume, right? Okay, so and you have the volume of each particle. So from like this, you will get the total number of particles n in terms of m, rho, and vp, that is the volume of each particle. Okay, so n is done. So you have to find out sp in terms of other factors. Okay, so how to calculate sp? So we can calculate sp from the definition of sphericity. Okay, what is the sphericity definition? So we have 6 by dp into sp by vp of that particle, right? Since this is a uniform particle, so this sphericity will be same for each and every particle. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so you need sp. So just a little bit of rearranging, you can easily find out. So I will do a little bit arrangement here in terms of sp. So just move sp here. Sp is equal to So 6 Vp, Vp goes up, Vp and phi s, right? We have got the surface area of each particle in terms of other things. Simply put it here. So total surface area, let's say total surface area as a W, A, and what is N? And you calculated it to be M by rho. So N was M by rho P Vp into Sp. What is Sp? 6 Vp by dP into sphericity phi s. So Vp cancels out. So you will get 6m by rho p dp phi s. Okay, so we have got the formula for total surface area. Okay, the unit will be in terms of SI. If you take SI unit, it will be meter square, because this is the total area of that sample, which has uniform distribution of particles, all particles having same diameter. Okay, if somebody asks you what is the specific surface area, what is the specific surface area? This is the total area. Total area. What about the specific surface area? So you know, whenever there is specific term, you have to just divide by the total mass. So just divide this formula by total mass on the both sides. So you will be left with A by M is equal to 6 by rho P dP and sphericity phi s. Right? Okay. So this term will be called as AW, which means it is a specific surface area. So you have got the formula for the specific surface area of a sample. Right? This is the formula. This is how you have derived it. Okay. Apart from it, we have to know how to analyze the size distribution of particles. So there are two methods. One is called differential analysis, and another one is your cumulative analysis. Okay, so what is happening in differential analysis? So in differential analysis, you get a curve like this. So you're basically, here you have diameter on the x-axis, and on the y-axis you have mass fraction xi. So let's say you have a graph like this here. So at any, suppose you want to find the mass fraction of the particles having average diameter of something here. Let's say it is 10 micrometer, right? So you can easily see from the graph that it will be somewhere here, the value. You can easily say that, right? This plot is called differential analysis. Okay, so if you see the real plot from this, okay, so here it is a particle distribution graph. So it is plotted using differential analysis. So on the x-axis we have particle size. On the y-axis we have mass fraction. So it is plotted such that, suppose the particle size uh, having 20 micrometer is, then the mass fraction will be 0.1. from the mixture, 10% of the particles have size 20 micrometer. Okay, and what about 60? So if you see here, it will be around 0.025, right? That is 2.5%. So 2.5% of the whole mixture will be having particle size of 60 micrometer. Okay, sorry. So this is the differential analysis. You can represent the same data in a different form, that is called cumulative analysis. Okay, so what is happening is, so here you can directly say that the part relate the particle size and mass fraction, but here see, on the x-axis it is same particle size, but on the y-axis it is cumulative mass fraction smaller than the stated size. Means if I want to find the mass fraction of the particles of having size 30, you cannot say that the mass fraction of the particles having size 30 micrometer is 60%. No, that is wrong. In cumulative analysis, it means all the particles having a size of 30 micrometer or less, I mean from 0 to 30 micrometer, they total are having 60% mass fraction. So it keeps on adding. Okay, so here means all the particles having the particle size less than the 70, total this area is having 90%. So 90% of the particles are having particle size less than or equal to 70 micrometer. What about 80? Here, so it is almost 99. So 99% of the particles are of size 80 and less. Okay, this is the cumulative analysis method. Okay, so we'll learn more about this in the upcoming chapters.